today I'm going to show you how to make some beautiful art using coffee filters. Most of the supplies that you'll need for this project you can find around the house. You're going to need some water-based markers like Crayola or Mr. Sketch, but they have to be water-based. Sharpies will not work. You need some coffee filters, obviously. Some plain white paper. You can use printer paper or any kind of paper that you have. A spray bottle filled with water. If you don't have a spray bottle, you can also use a small cup of water. And a plastic tablecloth or something that you can use to protect your table. You ready to make some art? Let's go. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to color our coffee filter. So you can just spread it out and then you can take a marker and just color. Go crazy. You don't have to be too concerned about how it looks on the coffee filter as far as like how neat it's going to be, because once you spray it, a lot of the lines, like see how there's little white in between the purple, that's gonna go away. So, and you can make any design you want. I'm just gonna do some blocks of color for this one. See how I'm using the side of the marker to color? Because I want it to go a little faster than if I would use the very little skinny tip of a skinny marker. If I use the tip, that would take forever. So you can use any colors you like. Experiment with color. You can use the primary colors, the red, the yellow, and blue, and see what happens when you mix them. And even if your marker is just a little bit dried up, see how this one's a little bit dried up? That's actually going to work. So the effect is a little bit lighter, but it still looks really cool. Let's see, I'll do some more yellow. I'll put the yellow next to the blue. We'll have to see what happens. And let's try this purpley color over here. You can make dots or lines, stripes. You could do swirls and whatever. The nice thing about this is that you can make a lot of them, because usually when you have a package of coffee filters, you have a lot. Usually. Let's do a different color. How about, let's do a little gray in there. See how that looks. That's different. Okay, and you can experiment and leave a little white in the background too and see how that looks. Don't be afraid to leave a little white, and don't be afraid to experiment, because that's how you find really cool methods, is just by practicing, experimenting, and seeing what happens. You never know what you're going to find. All right, the last color, I'll do some yellow. Okay, this is quite the mishmash. Now, when you finish coloring, make sure you put your coffee filter on a piece of paper, because when you finish this project, the piece of paper that's underneath your coffee filter will make a really cool pattern as well. Isn't that pretty? And you can use this for other crafts too, and I'll show you more about that later. So now we have, I'm just gonna move the markers. Now we have our coffee filter. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your spray bottle and you're just gonna spray it. And you're gonna saturate the coffee filter. Saturate, hey, there's a vocabulary word. That means to completely cover with liquid. Wow, and you can watch and see what happens. See how all the colors are blending? See, the yellow and the blue made green. We knew that was going to happen, right? Cool. So then you just put this aside and let it dry. Keep it on the, I'm gonna add a little more water first. Keep it on the paper until it's totally dry and put it in an area that you won't harm anything underneath. I'm gonna keep mine on the tablecloth. And then when it's dry, you peel it off the paper and you will have a beautiful surprise like this. Oh, and if you don't have a water bottle, then you can use a cup of water and you just take it out and you sprinkle it on, and you keep sprinkling it on until you get a saturated or completely wet coffee filter. Do you see how all the colors diffused into each other? That means they spread. Diffuse, another vocabulary word, to spread. So when your coffee filters are dry, you not only have these as your beautiful artwork, but the paper underneath is beautiful as well. Isn't that neat? Here's another one. It's pretty. And there's a lot you can do with both things. You can hang these in the window to decorate. You can cut these up for craft projects. You can use the paper underneath to wrap a small gift. You can cut out shapes to use for other art projects and other arts and crafts. And they're nice and colorful. And that's all there is to it. And here's a little tip. Don't be so quick to throw out those dried up markers. Put them in a little jar of water, just a little bit of water, without the cap overnight. And in the morning, you'll have watercolors. Free paint. Cool.